All right, so we are going to preview our next set of stations. I'm going to do it in two different sections. So I'm going to preview our input stations for our unit genetics tonight. So I'll be doing watch it, read it, explore it, and research it tonight. And then tomorrow I'll do the output stations so that the video isn't too long and it breaks it up for you. Remember, I won't be going over how to do the questions or like what kind of answers you should come up with as much as I am just explanations of what the directions mean. So here is a YouTube link for Watch It. You're going to go ahead and click on the YouTube link. If for any reason you have trouble making it work, feel free to send me an email. It's about Gregor Mendel. So how Mendel's pea plants helped us understand genetics. Important for you to understand a lot of what's happening in this unit. There are 3 questions. What is an allele? What is the difference between homozygous and heterozygous? And how can a recessive gene show back up after several generations? Okay. Next one, the read it is in part 1 and part 2 for the reading portion, and part 3 has the multiple choice questions. I always like reading those first. So who is widely considered to be the father of genetics? Why are Punnett squares used? And what is the appearance of an organism, what is the appearance of an organism or the trait that is seen? You're going to answer those to the left. Those answers can be found in the passage. Anywhere you find a bolded word, that is a vocabulary word, those were also on your Quizlet from the previous day. So you're going to either put the definition of the word in your own words, or you're going to draw or insert a picture in the box, okay, for those 2. When you get to explore it, this one has a lot of parts. You're going to read the first side. You're going to read the second side. And then you're going to read the third side, but there are 2 questions that have to be answered. But if you go back to explore it, part 2, it says look at the Punnett square. That, just so you're not confused, if you come down, this is the Punnett square we're talking about. So it says that the father is heterozygous, meaning big R, little r. Big R stands for red flower, little r stands for white flower, and then the mother is heterozygous as well. And so here are the results you're going to use. Again, I don't want to give you too much explanation at this point because this is the part where you're exploring, trying to figure things out for yourself. So use that for this slide right here. And then, of course, you're going to answer these 2 questions. What % chance will the offspring have red flowers? And what combination of parent genotypes would assure that the offspring would have the white flowers? And then at the end here, it says you're supposed to draw your own Punnett square using the following data. And then insert a picture of your, whatever it turns out, here. So if you are having trouble figuring out how to do that, the directions are here as far as how to do the insert. But if you're having problems drawing the Punnett square, do your best based on your own research, or pull up, a video or an example on Khan Academy or YouTube and use that to help you. But if worse comes to worse, call me over and I'll give you some help with that. Okay? And then there are 3 more questions at the end. What % chance will the offspring have long fur? What % chance will the offspring have short fur? And how did you figure out these percentages? This all comes from the Punnett square that you were supposed to have drawn. So give it a shot. And like I said, if you truly need help, let me know. If not, I can help you out when we correct them. Okay, and then research at part 1. This is where you're going to go to the link. It is a Khan Academy link, and you're going to go through and take a look at that, and then read the article, Mendel and his peas. What is inheritance is your first question. Who was Gregor Mendel, and why is Mendel called the father of genetics? Those go right to the left here. Notice these are repeating themselves. Part 2, what is the difference between a dominant and recessive allele? Give an example of each. And was Mendel's experiment a well-controlled one? Why or why not? Okay. And that is, let me make sure that, let's go to the very beginning. I believe that covers all of our input. Explore it, research it, read it, and watch it. Yes, that's our input videos. So you can stop the video here. You are done for today. I'm going to go ahead and continue on with the output, write it, assess it, and organize it and illustrate it for the following day. So stop your video here and then maybe write down the time so that tomorrow you can come back and watch this before you begin your output stations. Okay, so here we go. Hopefully you've stopped the video and you've started again. You're going to do organize it. Super simple as far as the directions go because you're going to match the definition with the correct term. It's a drag and drop, so you'll be moving it over to the blank spot. So as we've done in the past, sorry, I have it on present mode, so I can't do it right now, but as we've done in the past, drag and drop it. For illustrated, I notice a lot of you like to skip illustrated. Please don't skip it. You're asked to create 2 Punnett squares for 2 different traits. Here is the information given to you, and then it says see the next page for help on inserting the pictures into the page. So this information at the top here is how to actually do your drawings. The information on the next page is how to actually present your drawings. This is another one that you're supposed to be exploring and figuring out how to do on your own. But do not hesitate after you've looked it up several times or you've researched how to do this to ask me or another student for help if you need some hints. And then write it. Question 1, describe how traits are passed from parents to their offspring. Please write in a well-written paragraph, if not more, remembering to indent at the beginning of your paragraph using capital letters, using periods. I doubt you're going to have question marks or exclamation marks, but those are also types of punctuation. And please, if it comes up that you have misspelled it, please check your spelling. And then your next question, explain why Punnett squares are used in genetics and describe the difference between dominant and recessive alleles. Same instructions for the for the writing. And last part that I'd like you to really pay close attention to is assess it, part 1. Which statement is true about the Punnett square? You're going to take a look and you're going to pick which one. Type your answer here. Number 2, which statement is not true about the Punnett square? Meaning this one here. Write your answer here. And which allele pair would be considered homozygous dominant? And assess it part 2, you are going to fill in the blanks. So use the vocabulary words from read it to complete the following sentences. So you're supposed to go back to read it and use the vocabulary words. You can also use the vocabulary words. Let me see, here's read it. So you have recessive trait, Punnett squares, inherited traits, phenotypes, genotypes, alleles, genes, and heredity. You can also use organize it. Those same vocabulary words are on organize it, but if you didn't do them correctly, then it won't help you very much. So that's why you want to start with read it. Okay. And then challenge it would be only if you have time. So all the other stations must be completed before you begin this station. Choose one or more of the activities below. So I'll let you do these on your own. And this is something that you may do. You can do this after you take your final assessment or before. It's up to you. And let me know if you do so I can give you some extra credit.